is Marie Woods, and I'm the upper school principal. Over a decade ago, the upper school established a tradition for the senior luncheon. We allow our senior class to select their own senior luncheon speaker. A ballot is sent out to all the students listing all of the faculty and staff, and they are asked to choose a faculty member who has impacted them as a class and also someone that they respect deeply. The results are kept a secret until senior luncheon. I'm pleased to announce that the class of 2024 has chosen for their senior luncheon speaker, Bible teacher Nathan Goodroe. As he makes his way up to the stage, I'd like to share a little about my esteemed colleague. He's going to walk real slow because he doesn't like the limelight. He's coming all the way up. Mr. Goodroe has been a faculty member since 2017. During that time, he has taught geometry, Bible, sponsored the engineering team, and led Fresh Air, which is our chapel. This year, he was also selected to be our star teacher by Rory Willis, our star student. The best way I know to describe Nathan, or Mr. Goodroe, to you is to tell you that he is a gentle man. Now, he is also a gentleman, but he is a gentle man. He is fun and funny. He is creative. He is loving. And these qualities make him beautiful. Mr. Goodroe prides himself on his cringy dad jokes. The man can literally solve almost any problem you have, and he'll figure out a way to use a spreadsheet to do it. He has single-handedly made the Pits the most prestigious job at Sharp Top. Also, I feel quite confident you'll find him launching his own YouTube channel quite soon, where his data analytics will be on display in case you need to improve your waiting time while in line at Disney, learn how to use a sound system, or know which names are most popular throughout history. Although his dedication to MPCS is without question, his commitment to his family, and specifically his commitment to his role as a father, is particularly special. If you want to see this man's face light up, just ask him about Marie and Miles. Seniors, just as this is your last year at Mount Pisgah, this is also Mr. Goodroe's last year with us as well, as he is pursuing a career that will allow him the ability to be surrounded by numbers and spreadsheets, and also the flexibility to work from home to be even more present, to perform his absolute favorite job as dad to his children, and his new baby girl making her debut in a few short weeks. Nathan, you have blessed this class and many others before it. You have blessed your colleagues. You have blessed the school community. Tomorrow, after the faculty has processed in, Mr. Goodroe will have the privilege and honor of leading you, class of 2024, down the aisle for one final time. Will you please help me welcome Mr. Nathan Goodroe?
Hello, everybody. I know while they were talking about me, some of you may have leaned over and thought, did we have him? Do we know him already? So to give you a quick recap, there are a lot of places you might know me from as your child's teacher. We may start with freshman year. I taught most of them geometry. I taught some of them geometry their sophomore year. For the others, I taught journalism. I published the Liberty Bell newspaper. I taught half of you junior year Bible. I helped some plan chapels during worship and production class. And I sent emails for Sharp Top and Senior Week as student life coordinator. But maybe you were on the robotics team a long time ago. I'm very aware that there are many teachers that could have been asked to do this by this group. And I am very honored because I love this class so much more than the ones that come before it. Because I see so much of myself in it. I see so much of myself. And so I wanted to finish with one last lesson. And just like every lesson I have ever given, to you kids. There will be tangents, there'll be musings, and we'll be breaking off into personal narratives at times. It all starts with the life cycle of a star. That's what I want to talk about today, how a star gets formed. So it all begins. A cloud of dust and hydrogen collapses into a dense object, and it gets unbelievably hot. It starts to burn the hydrogen. Hydrogen's the simplest element, so the star will burn it and break it apart through nuclear reaction, and you'll end up with helium. That is the second lightest element. This process goes on for a very long time. They burn hydrogen, turning it into helium, burning bright, and bringing other space debris together to eventually form a possible planet or a moon to orbit around the massive star. This is where our star is right now. Our star is about 90% hydrogen, about 10% helium. As the hydrogen dwindles and all that is burned is helium, the star will begin to change. It'll get hotter, orange. It'll burn helium into carbon, into iron, into nitrogen, and on, heavier than the last. And this progression, again and again, happens, and each element turns into the other. We get full of the entire periodic table, almost. When it is no longer be able to keep nuclear fusion, what happens is a star becomes ready to burst into a supernova across the galaxy, spreading its guts throughout the solar system, enriching everything with almost every element of the periodic table. I hope you take a moment right now to look around you. Everything that makes you, everything on your phone, everything on your plate, every piece of carbon in your body and iron in your blood, those were once beating inside of a star. You are, quite literally, stardust. It may not feel like it, but I hope you keep that in mind. Now, in the spring of 2020, the world shifted for all of us. I know 2020, it's a COVID thing, but okay. We start freshman year, spring of 2020. For some of you students, you might have known things were serious when the Final Four was canceled, or perhaps when your DC trip was canceled, or when your 8th grade dance. I'm sorry you missed it. You missed a lot of great slow dancing. Parents, maybe you had to pull double duty and you had to be mom and teacher and working. But for me, it meant that my first child, Marie, was born into a world unlike anything I had planned or ever imagined. I had her in a quiet hospital with no traffic on the street and family not there to welcome us home. Parents, I imagine you had some idea of what your child's freshman year was supposed to look like. Every hope and expectation needed to be altered when you dropped them off masked and sanitized at Geyer Hall to have their temperature taken. I too dropped my baby off at Mount Pisgah, and I didn't know what her first day of school was going to be like, if it was going to be normal. Maybe you didn't drop them off, and they started high school on a Google Meet, wearing a Pisgah shirt and pajama pants. We have many laughs and memories in geometry class. We learned about proofs. We made animations in Blender that most people hated. But most importantly, almost every single one of you asked me the same question, and it was, when am I ever going to use this? And you didn't like my answer about, math. It's a language of problem solving, but it's not actually the problem you're doing. It's not important. I'm getting off track. So you also got married in Miss Williams' class. Instead of sharp top, you had stay top. Lord Thames taught you geography, and Mrs. Morris stepped down as your principal for Mr. Hicksonbaugh to step up. Sophomore year was a new time, and for those who had Algebra 1 freshman year, I got to finally have you in geometry. You read The Shack with Miss Dover. You had movie days with Bob Denham. Mrs. Murphy and Miss Pifke attempted to teach you Spanish. And my life changed once again in the spring when I welcomed my second, Miles, into our life. I went out for a few weeks, and I left Bow Towns to watch over my classes to some mixed results. But my oldest started to walk when you were getting your driver's license. And parents, I'm sure there was a moment where you thought, finally, they don't need me anymore to go anywhere. But also, that creeping thought in the back of your head, oh no, what if they don't want to come back when they do start going? Dr. Thomashaw, junior year, called you denizens. Mrs. Coach ruthlessly picked apart your thesis, and Mrs. Sari wooed you again by singing in class and making sure you knew it was safe to be an absolute goofball. One teacher made personal finance a little too personal, and parents, you toured colleges while I toured the new preschool, and the ruthless progression of time reared its head. The days were long, but where did all of the years go? In the end of junior year, you're almost thrown into chaos when a parent of the class of 2024 who had served as your principal left. But Dr. Harmon understood what was necessary, and found another parent of the class of 2024 to come in and guide your senior year. And so senior year, we come together. It's our last senior year at Mount Pisgah. Every time, I'm aware it's the end for me too. And I don't know if you put this together, but you are the star, a collection of kids from literally all over the world, joined together, fused into the star burning bright. Every moment that has passed grew us and became more complex. We painted spots before school. We had homecoming, fresh air, luncheons, Mr. Pisgah, thank Graham's concert under the stars. That's our hydrogen turning into helium. We played with kindergartners. We had devised plays and concerts, games with senior night where Mr. Murphy read your names over the PA. State championships were our carbon into nitrogen. Flourish nights, open mics, junior-senior wars, shooting Sammy Jabbour in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. These are our nitrogen into oxygen. And of course, how could I ever leave out Sharp Top? Now you're a star filled with new rich elements, ready to explode, and everything you've known, though, has been inside this star. Every heartbreak and joy and sport and lunch, and soon the supernova will scatter us. An explosion of elements and people and talents across the world. We leave Pisgah, and there'll be new seniors who will take our place, new memories, and even new Bible teachers. Life will go on. You may find yourself traveling through space, wondering where will you land? Will you create a new planet? Will you find a new solar system? Remember, your journey has just begun. It may feel like you've lived more life than you can possibly imagine, but I promise you are only beginning. This is your call to adventure. This is your shire that you're being asked to leave. I could give you the advice they always say, drink water, go to class, but instead I've made a little booklet that you all will receive in due time that has 8 pages of my best advice. So I think I know this grade better than anyone else at Mount Pisgah. I know how you feel about homework. I know what songs you scream at the top of your lungs at Sharp Top and the distaste you have for things that don't really matter and how you want to change the world. I also know you are kind, you're resilient, you're determined, inclusive, and hopeful. So to any of the 4-year-old question that most of you have, when am I ever going to use this? Okay, when it comes to geometry, every Lordy was right, never. But kindness, resilience, determination, inclusivity, and hope, you will use that for the rest of your life, every day. Maybe you need history or chemistry to change the world, but you have everything you could possibly need to change someone's world. Freshman year of college is one of the scariest experiences. People are lost and without anyone to count on. Everything is new, and you realize the life you had is left behind, but be the person who is known for their love, who takes responsibility and welcomes people. I know you can. You showed me how responsible you were running Senior Sharp Top. And you made this place my home. Leave people better than you found them. Leave people better than you found them. It will not be hard for you because you've done it once for me. They say you can never step in the same river twice. The water will just keep going and never staying the same. And that makes me sad because I really did love the river we were. I love you. I'm proud of you. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thanks again, Tim.